Hey everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy Diaries. And in fact, probably the last episode, at least as far as I can think of it. It's early July. I'm actually going to be moving soon. I'm actually kind of in process of moving. It's kind of a problematic time as far as housing goes. So next week I'll probably just do an update video of what things are going to look like over the next few weeks until I get settled into my new place. Hopefully everything will go smoothly, but you know how it is. Like, things go wrong. Speaking of things going wrong, let's just pick a little random location here. You know, I don't particularly care where we go. We're just wandering around to waste time. So, today in Final Fantasy Diaries, as the last episode, I will be talking about the most recent game, Final Fantasy 15. Now, I have skipped talking about 11 and 14 because I have not played 11 and 14. It's really a shame. I would really like to play both 11 and 14. I've heard great things about the story of 11. I've watched Pro Jared play 14 from time to time, and I just totally love it. It looks great. But I haven't played it yet because I'm too scared of the MMORPGs and not having any time to do anything else. Like work. Or eat. So, I haven't played those, but I have played 15, and the official synopsis is, in a matter of days, the kingdom of Lucius is to sign an armistice, ending a long and bitter conflict with Niflheim. Ahead of the ceremony, Prince Noctis, heir to the Lucian throne, sets forth his homeland to formalize the union of states through his marriage to the Lady Lunafreya of the imperial province of Tenebrae. The offer of peace, however, is no more than a ruse to lower the Lucian shield, and the imperial army takes the crown city and its sacred crystal in one fell swoop. En route to his destination, Noctis is shocked to learn that he, his father the king, and his betrothed are believed dead. Overnight, the dream of peace has faded into a distant memory. His world crumbling around him, Noctis has naught but his resolve and his loyal companions to see him through the trials to come. Dun dun dun.
The way you twaddled on before, you had best break my record.
This guy's a jerk. Why did we join the youth league? That was a bad idea. How do I probably should have done the instructions, huh? Alright, I got it now. Oh, and I got treasure. Alright. So anyway, favorite played character. Actually really quite hard to choose. Who I eventually chose was probably not who you would assume. Because you would probably assume that my favorite character would be Ignis, because I do love Ignis. He is my favorite in a lot of ways. But I ultimately decided to go with Noctis himself. And it was a hard choice, but I think Noctis does have... I don't know. It's really quite hard, because Ignis is quite complex, as is the rest of the boys. But Noctis, I don't know, he just... The way that Noctis... This is harder than I remember. Okay. Anyway, what was I talking about? But I ultimately chose Noctis, I think, because I have a soft spot for him in as much as he is like... How do I reload? Uh-oh, I'm dead. Anyway. Because he is so like Squall. And I think he suffers from a lot of the same things that Squall suffers from. That being things like depression and insecurity about being able to do what he's able to do. And as I've mentioned with 13, I really like stories about fathers. And one of the things that one of the things that I really love about 15 is the relationship between Noctis and his father. It's not... I mean, you get a lot of fathers in Final Fantasy. You get a lot more fathers than you do get mothers. So just leaving that there. But as someone who really likes stories with fathers, that's not necessarily like a bad thing. It just is a thing. Is this it? Did I run out of ammo? Flee, flee. Okay. And so I like to see Noctis's relationship with his father and his relationship to his brothers, his friends. And wow, I did really poorly at that.
Got low marks. You may be on the league side, but as far as I'm concerned, you'll only get in our way.
Punch him. Okay. So I'm not good at that minigame. That's okay. So, and for favorite NPC, there's a lot of great NPCs. Ultimately, I decided to go with Aranea, Highwind, the Token Dragoon. At first, actually, I wasn't totally sold on her in her first scene. When you first fight against her, I was like, I wanted more dark and brooding. You're not dark and brooding enough for me. But then in the other scenes where you talk to her, she really fleshes out in the dialogue, and I like Mercenaries a lot. And she's the very pleasant mercenary with a heart. Like, I'm going to only do what I get paid for, but I'm also going to try and do the right thing. And her relationship with Biggs and Wedge is great, and I think she's just fantastic, and I really hope they do more with her. I am really, really excited when she pops into battle to help you. I've only had this experience once, where it was just, a random battle when I was doing stuff post-game, and out of nowhere, she just came from the, from her airship, and just, boop, fell into battle with us. It was amazing. Oh, I loved it. I also love her bickering with Ignis, and I totally ship RNA and Ignis. Don't judge me. Alright. For favorite song, this is the game where I finally enjoyed the soundtrack again. I finally, got over Nobuo Uematsu. And I really love Yoko Shimomura. So I'm over my loss. I listened to the concert at Abbey Road, and it's great. Go listen to it. And I think it's mostly because of that my favorite song is the Apocalypsis Noctis, which is a really kind of heavy battle music, because just seeing Yoko Shimomura play it, on the piano herself, just busting it out, I got so into it. I just always think of it. And it's great. My favorite addition is everything with the fighting system. I'm not going to worry about this minigame anymore right now. I'm going to have to figure it out at some point, like how to actually do well at it. But the fighting system is 12. Is so amazing. I like the way that there's all the techniques that you can use. I like that you can change the techniques that are equipped during battle. The only thing I don't love is the magic, because I hate friendly fire. But if you get the ring, then it's less of a big deal. I probably could have killed that chocobo. So, I didn't use magic very much. I did like being able to mix magic and have the different effects. And that is really useful in the final cave when you can't use items. So, that's what it is. But otherwise, I think everybody just loves the smoothness of the fighting. And you don't really feel like it's a break. You don't really feel like it's problematic or repetitive. It's really, really fun. And there's a lot of cool things that you can do as you go through the game. So the improvements to the fighting system, the open world, oh my goodness, it was so great. I think, I can understand the criticism. Maybe it's a little too open world at the beginning. But I don't think you have to play it that way. And so I actually think the game did a pretty good job balancing for a non-standard Final Fantasy fan and a standard one. Now, granted, there are still side quests that you have to do, which could throw some people off, but it's pretty easy to just stick to the story and get through it, and not have to do all the hunts. Now, granted, I did all the hunts, and and I was extremely over-leveled for the end of the game. But not for the secret dungeons. So it was still, there were things that were a bit of a challenge, but nothing too challenging. And that's another complaint that I've heard, that it's too easy. And that one might be true. It might be too easy, since you can heal outside battles without having to use anything, and you can save anywhere. It's a very different sort of game, but I like it, and I think they did well with it. And there's no save point in here. So, I'm going to stop this episode here. I hope you're having a great July wherever you are, and a wonderful Sunday, and may you have peace and joy in your heart, and Final Fantasy a PlayStation controller to play Final Fantasy in your hands. I think those are all that you could want in life, really. Thank you so much for going through Final Fantasy Diaries, if you've been with me since the beginning. Obviously, I really enjoy talking about Final Fantasy. You can check out playthroughs with Lissa on her channel of Final Fantasy games. You can check out my Final Fantasy 15 playthrough here. Yeah. And if you have any Final Fantasy related questions, feel free to leave a comment or tweet at me at InterceptorIsmy. And I will be sure to answer them. Again, next week, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I might just do an update to just check in with y'all about how the move is going, and if there will be a hiatus necessary. Hopefully not. But check Twitter for updates, check the channel for updates, and until next time, Interceptor out.